What do you want me to do, Laker fans? What do you want me to do? Down 27? Down 27, you come all the way up. You don't think I'm going to have a couple jumping jacks in there? Of course I'm going to have a couple jumping jacks. The hell do you guys think this is? The hell are you talking about here? Let's go, Lake Show. Let's go, Lake Show. Let's go. Appreciate you guys being a part of the channel. Did not think I was going to throw in a couple jumping jacks. But, you know, sometimes there's times where that's necessary. And that was necessary right there. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show, Laker fans. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Couple fist bumps right here. What the hell just happened this afternoon? That was a freaking roller coaster of a game, Laker fans. Freaking roller coaster of a game, Laker fans. Awesome win by the Los Angeles Lakers. No BS. I mean, like, literally, that was a bad, you-know-what freaking win by the Los Angeles Lakers, and what seemed like it was going to be an awful Sunday afternoon ends up being a great Sunday afternoon. So thank you for tuning in. Post-game show after the post-game show. Finished post-game show number 1 on 710 ESPN. And now we talk to my YouTube people here. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. I'm going to ask a couple things here before we get going right out the gate. Number one, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notifications, and I'll continue to talk Lakers basketball. I also have the super chat is on, so if you have some super chats that you want to get in, I'll make sure to get obviously to your comments as well. I would greatly appreciate that as well. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Let's get started. 111 to 108, the final score. 111 to 108, the final score. Lakers over the Dallas Mavericks after being down 27. Laker fans, let me just say this right out the gate, all right? There's a couple things that come to mind on the win. First off, by no means am I telling people, hey, great, fantastic, Lakers, you want to bury yourself by down 27. Obviously, you don't want to do that. It's not something that you want to see from this Lakers team at all. The last thing you want to do is dig yourself that type of a hole, so you don't want that. But a couple things stood out to me is when they were down 27 points, what the Lakers did not do when down 27 is they definitely did not put themselves in a position where they just gave up, where they just decided, all right, you know what, it is what it is. Now, they don't really have the luxury to do that anyways, just simply because of the position that they're in, just simply because where they are in the standings. But they were down 48 to 21. And I remember putting out a tweet basically saying, like, what the hell's going on here? Right? 48 to 21. This is the Lakers team that we're supposed to be getting excited about. And like I said, right out the gate, instead of complaining about where they are, instead of accepting the fact that they're down 27, they fought. They fought all the way back. They fought all the way back to obviously make this one a game, and they took what was a 27-point deficit, and you know I guess from there you just kind of start telling yourself, all right, just chip away at it, see what you do. Can you take 27 down to 20? All right, they did. Can you take 20 down to under 15 at halftime? They did. It was 14 at halftime, and then the start of the third quarter. They went on another run, and before you know it, it's a 3-point game at the start of the fourth quarter. And the worst thing that could have happened, Laker fans, is if you came all the way back, and then by the time you come all the way back, if they'd have lost this game by 3 or something along those lines, how disappointing would that have felt? That would have been so incredibly disappointing, but they did it. They cashed it in and got the win. Now, listen. They didn't only just cash it in and get the win, but they were awful from 3. They were 6 of 34 from the 3-point line, Laker fans. 6 of 34 from the 3-point line. And they still found a way to win the game. Beasley, I think, was 2 of 11 from 3, so he didn't obviously have a good game tonight. It wasn't a perfectly played game by the Lakers, and they still walked away with a W. So that's what I'm excited about is I thought walking into this game we were going to kind of get a little test from the Lakers, and we walked away at least through the first 24 minutes saying, well, there goes that test. Now we walk away with obviously the Lakers getting a W. So I know where I want to start on, my topics. I'm going to start off with this one. I'm going to start off with Jared Vanderbilt because I understand superstars got to be superstars. I get it. And I know that LeBron and Anthony Davis are going to need to be big all season long. They're going to be key the rest of the way, 21 games left to go. But this Laker fans is going to be, in my opinion, as important as LeBron and Anthony Davis being LeBron and AD. What other players step up night in and night out? Doesn't have to be the same guy, by the way. It could be Beasley on Thursday night who goes for, what Beasley have? 25 points, hit 7 threes. Austin Reeves didn't miss a shot that game. I think Mo Bamba had 10 and 13. Rui Hachimura had a good game as well. He had 14 points. So some nights you're going to have everybody just clicking. But there's going to be other nights where in any game that you have, aside from LeBron James and Anthony Davis, you need some other playmakers. You need somebody else to step up. And it doesn't have to just be from a stat line, and it doesn't just have to be, well, how many points did this guy score? Laker fans, how big was Jared Vanderbilt this afternoon for the Lake Show? He was a game. That was the difference of the game, Laker fans. That third quarter stretch, he had a stretch there in the third quarter where it seemed like he was stepping up on the defensive side. He was getting huge steals. He was on the glass every single possession. He had 15 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 steals. So I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go back to what I just said about it doesn't have to be the same player every single night, but you need guys to step up. And Vanderbilt, in my opinion, that's your ball game. Jared Vanderbilt doesn't play in this game tonight. Lakers end up losing by 10, 12, 15 points, whatever it is. That was the difference of the game, was that one dude. It's not that Anthony Davis wasn't big tonight. He was. Anthony Davis had a really nice night. 30 points, 15 rebounds, 3 block shots. Braun gave you 26 and 8. Dennis Schroeder, who I'll talk about in a second, I thought stepped up pretty decent without D'Angelo Russell. But put all those to the side for a quick second. There is no W in this game without Jared Vanderbilt. And that's 2 straight games where the NBA trade deadline happened and the Lakers got players that came in. And once those players that came in, you had one of those guys contribute, give you 25 in the last game. You had this game tonight or this afternoon, Jared Vanderbilt, one of the other players that came in the trade, contribute, like I mentioned, the 15, 7, and 4 steals. So overall, Laker fans, that was fantastic. And I want to give that man his love because he deserves it. And I genuinely do not feel that the Lakers win this game unless Jared Vanderbilt doesn't have the type of game that he had. So shout out to Jared Vanderbilt. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's read off a couple comments here. Let me see here. I got game of the year. Somebody's saying game of the year. Okay, so I heard John Ireland say that during the broadcast. There's some other stuff I'm going to get into as well, but let me just play this one out real quick. By the way, appreciate all the comments. I'll try to get to some of these as we go. Game of the year. I heard Ireland say that in the broadcast. When he first said it, I kind of hesitated. I'm like, I don't know, game of the year. They've had some other wins, this, that. I got to be honest, just kind of thinking about this. Under the circumstances, the dire situation that the Lakers are in, you only got 21 games left after this. You were down 27. You're trying to build some momentum after the All-Star break. Yeah, I don't really argue that. It's okay to just kind of go with that one. I don't have a problem with that. It was certainly, as you kind of look at it, this is a 3-game road trip that the Lakers have. This is the first one, which I thought winnable against Dallas. I think they're only 1-3 since that Kyrie trade, or at least 1-3 since Kyrie and Luka played together. So it's not like, they're out there just dominating teams. Memphis is going to be a really, really tough game, and then you'll cap it off with Oklahoma City. I thought today was really important. I thought it was really important. So if you guys want to call it the game of the year, I'm not here. I'm not here trying to argue that one by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Can I give a quick shout out here to Dennis Schroeder for a second? And I'll tell you why. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal. He was 0 for 4 from the three-point line, just 5 of 12 from the field. They didn't have D'Angelo today. And he came in 16 points and 8 assists. You know what's going to be great when D'Angelo Russell's in is Dennis Schroeder can go to his natural position, which I think should be off the bench. And Dennis Schroeder being the quarterback for that bench unit is going to be key. I think Dennis Schroeder is going to help all these other guys off the bench. I really do. And I thought today he did enough to try to fill in the gap with D'Angelo gone. So just a quick little quiet shout out to Dennis Schroeder. I thought he did a good enough job with D'Lo out. All right. The other piece of this too, Anthony Davis, 30, 15, and 3. AD looked good tonight. AD looked good today. He looked good today. Hit your free throws with 6 and 9 from the free throw line. I want to see a little bit more from that perspective. I got you. Some people want some fist pumps right here. I got you guys there. He did look good from the field today. He looked like he was more comfortable, was taking big shots, was aggressive. So shout out to him as well. My only kind of concern walking out of this game is, LeBron saying that he thinks he's going to be okay and everything else. Damn, man, that's kind of everything right now where all these guys have to be healthy. Of course, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, of course, have to be healthy as well. All right, let's see what we got here. I want to get into the standings, and I want to get into the rest of the road trip, and I want to get into this was the first real test for the Lakers. But before I do that, let's do a little roll call. Laker fans, where are you guys tuning in from? Let me know where you're tuning in from. I got my chat open in my laptop because this thing gets a little crazy here as I try to read all these. So let me know where you're tuning in from. I'll do my best to try to give you guys all a shout out. Okay, Inglewood in the house. Thank you, Inglewood. Fullerton, Burbank, Calabasas, Atlanta, Georgia, Little Italy, Marietta, Rochester, New York. Thank you for being a part of the show. Torrance, Huntsville, Alabama, Hagerstown, Maryland, if I'm right. University of Newcastle, Australia. Appreciate you being a part of the show. Little Italy, Guam. What is Little Italy without Guam? That's pretty creative there, actually. Where did I miss? I missed my spot now. I don't know where I was now. All right, where am I here? Okay, there's Guam, Miami, Florida, New York City in the house, Netherlands, India, Virgin Islands in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. DC, Lawndale in the house, Philippines, UK, Columbus, Ohio. Thank you all for being a part of the show. Cali in the house, La Habra, Spain, Maui, Hawaii. Look where Laker fans are. They're everywhere. Netherlands, Glendale, California. Someone's at crypto. Doesn't make sense, but I will still give you your props. Portland, Oregon in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. San Francisco, Guadalupe, Modesto, California, San Antonio in the house, Clemson, Massachusetts, Trinidad and Tobago, Pasadena in the house, El Segundo. Appreciate you all for being a part of the show. Montana, Philippines, King Taco, Virginia, Laverne, Vegas. Thank you all for being a part of the show. Thank you all for being a part of the show. Really, really do appreciate it. How about that? Man, that's awesome. I really, really appreciate it. As I read these, Colt Real Estate with a big time super chat. Thank you. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. Says energy is off the chain tonight. So thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it very much. Okay, so a couple things here that I need to definitely highlight here. And I'm going to say that again here. Again, I'm going to say that again. That's very, very, very nice of you to do that. So Colt Real Estate, appreciate you putting that super chat up there. Okay, so there are a couple things here that I still want to get into. Couple things that I still want to get into here. So one of the things that I'm most looking forward to, and I've said this a number of different times on this Laker channel, and I'm going to go and continue to get into it. So this is the one thing that I want to make mention of. For me, personally, I was very, very happy about the win that the Lakers got against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm sorry, the Pelicans before the break, then the Golden State Warriors before the break. But Laker fans, let's be real here. Let's be completely, completely honest here when it comes to this Lakers team. Those are not real tests. You can't call it a test when you play Zion or you play the Pelicans without Zion. You can't call it a test when Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins aren't there. In my opinion, I'm going to go back to this. This is just me speaking for myself. I don't think you can go into I don't think we could go with our chest pumped out saying, oh, look who we just beat. And I'm talking about, obviously these games that I'm referring to, these 2 games without those stars. Now, you could feel good about it. You could feel the direction of where the team is going, but I don't think those were tests. The test is, how can the Lakers do on this road trip? The test for me personally had more to do with, and this is the only thing that I was paying attention to, was what can the Lakers do when they actually go up against a big-time opponent? When I say big time, I'm talking about the Dallas Mavericks, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Oklahoma City Thunder. You're now going on the road. Luka's playing. Kyrie's playing. Ja Morant's playing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is playing. Okay. What can we see from this team when it's that type of matchup? That's the thing that I was looking most forward to. That's the thing I was most looking forward to when I'm looking at this Lakers team. I just kind of kept saying to myself, okay, cool. It's fun. It's great that we won those 2 games. We won them convincingly. The Lakers played really, really well in those 2 games. I give them all the credit in the world. But when those players aren't there, I can only gauge so much of how good the Lakers had played in those 2 games. They blew them out. Neither of those games were games. All that looked different. You could tell the pieces were going to fit. But you get Dallas, and you get the Mavs, and you get Luka, and you get Kyrie. Okay, hey, this is a much better test. It's on the road. It's a nationally televised game. It's at 12:30. The whole thing. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I was paying most attention to. For me, that's what I cared most about was this game coming up and the game coming up on Tuesday. What do the Lakers look like? And the Thunder game, because the Thunder, for some reason, have owned the Lakers. Okay, they kind of passed that first test. I don't know what else to tell you. I think they've passed that first test, and that to me is it's a great start to continue to build off of what they were already doing. So let me also kind of point this out here because I think this is important too. What they just did and what they just accomplished against the Dallas Mavericks has to have a lot of confidence inside that locker room on where they can build from here. You got another one coming up here in just a second. You got one coming up on Tuesday against the Memphis Grizzlies. Listen, Laker fans, if you're asking me right now, do the Lakers win that game? Do they lose that game? That's a really tough game. I don't expect the Lakers to beat the Memphis Grizzlies, but they do give themselves, let's see what kind of game it is. Is it a game in the fourth quarter? Do the Lakers start kind of coming out and saying, it doesn't matter who the opponent is, they got to adjust to us? I'm curious. I really am curious to see what kind of team that we're going to get. And then, oh, by the way, you got the Oklahoma City Thunder after that. So you have, like I said, a number of teams now that are going to start looking at the Lakers a little bit differently. Can I say something here real quick, too, on the NBA standings? I want to go somewhere real quick on the NBA standings. Give me a second here. All right, maybe I shouldn't put my hand right where the camera is. Maybe I shouldn't do that. All right, give me a second here. By the way, look at this chat, 580. I want to go back to this just because I didn't get a chance to highlight because I'm doing it on my phone. Colt Real Estate, your super chat, I'm going to tell you again, I really, really, really appreciate that. So thank you for doing that. Said energy off the chains tonight. Of course the energy's off the chains tonight. Lakers came back from down 27. I added in here, I already did 3 jumping jacks during the show. Somebody asked, hey Al, where was some of your, where was the jabs and the left and the right? I came in with a boxing match. What do you mean, where was everything? Do you want me to? I'm not sparring here with myself here. Okay, this is what I want to get into. I want to get into the standings real quick. Let me tell the Laker fans I want to tell you why the Lakers are going to make the playoffs. Let me explain to you why they're going to make the playoffs, okay? And I know you're going to say, Al, relax, bud. They just won one game. Let's slow your roll a little bit. You're not wrong on that. But let me just kind of give you my rationale here. Lakers are in 11th now in the NBA standings. So they're 29 and 32. They're still 3 games below 500. Since the trade deadline, they're 4-1. Since the trade deadline, the Lakers are 4-1. Let me actually point out something here real quick on the trade deadline. Give me 2 seconds here, Laker fans. Give me 2 seconds here. Point out something here. Okay, trade deadline so far, they're 4-1. Their one loss, I want you to know, is against the Portland Trailblazers, where remember LeBron didn't play in that game. So just keep it in mind. Give the Blazers credit. Blazers beat the Lakers, but they're 4-1 since the trade deadline. Remember, the trade went down, but then the Bucks game, that was the first game. None of the guys played, and Bron didn't play in that game as well. So I'm basically just counting that road game against the Warriors moving on. So in the standings where the Lakers are, they're 29 and 32. Let's look at every team for a quick second of what they did at the deadline. Some teams tried to improve themselves. Some teams really didn't care and are just kind of hanging around, okay? The Utah Jazz traded away Mike Conley. So that just tells you right there. Look, they're still playing good basketball. They're a 500 team. They've won a couple games in a row. But the Utah Jazz did not get better at the trade deadline. That was not their goal. They just wanted to get draft picks. That's what they've been trying to do. They did not get better at the trade deadline. That's number one. Just keep that one in mind right out the gate, okay? The Pelicans did not get better at the trade deadline. They've lost 3 games in a row. What they need is Zion to come back, and there's no saying that Zion's coming back anytime soon. I know he had a setback in his recovery, so whatever that means. When Zion comes back, I do like that team. I think they're an interesting, fun team, but they're just kind of holding on for dear life right now. The Portland Trailblazers did not get better after the trade deadline. The Oklahoma City Thunder did not get better at the trade deadline. I'm just pointing out teams that, this is their situation. The Minnesota Timberwolves are actually a pretty decent team, and they'll eventually get Karl Anthony Towns back, and they might be a problem, at least initially. We'll see what ends up happening with them. They got Mike Conley instead of D'Angelo Russell, so they had some trades. Obviously, a few of their players. Now you got D'Lo on the Lakers, so they tried improving at the trade deadline. So I'm going to give them their credit because they did try to improve at the trade deadline. Okay, so the Warriors got to get healthy, and I mentioned the Timberwolves got to get healthy. The Mavs, I'm not sure what they are yet. I don't think anybody does. So, Lake fans, let me explain to you what I'm referring to here. It is clear the Lakers got better at the trade deadline. Clear. Nobody's questioning that. Nobody's, out there saying anything about, hey, did the Lakers get better? Did they not get better? Everybody knows the Lakers got better at the trade deadline. What I find interesting are all the other teams that are in front of the Lakers or around the Lakers. They either did not get better at the trade deadline or literally are actively tried not to get better so that they can go get a draft pick or something along those lines. For those reasons is why the Lakers will eventually end in, let me say this, all they could do right now is get in the play-in tournament, so let them get in there, and then let's see where things are in the next couple of weeks. But if the Lakers are healthy, I have a very difficult time not seeing why the Lakers, or trying to find a reason why the Lakers are not going to be in this mix here. So I think that's incredibly important to point out. What all the teams that are hanging around the Lakers in the standings, were they trying to get better at the trade deadline? Were they not? And if they just stayed at pat and the Lakers got better, okay, then they should move in front of them. Or if they traded people away because they have no interest in getting better and the Lakers got better, then they should, go a notch down. Lakers still got a lot of work to do. By no means am I trying to tell you or justify to you that the Lakers are in a great position. But what I'm saying is that their roster today is much better than it was 3 weeks ago, and I only think the team's going to get better. D'Lo will eventually come back. Hopefully the guys gain some continuity. And the reality is, Laker fans, they got a lot of home cooking coming soon too. Let me actually point that out here real quick. Show you guys the type of home cooking that they have here. So after these next 2 games that they have on the road, I want to say 12 of the final 19 games, something like that, will be at Crypto. So they got a lot of home games coming up, and a lot of winnable games, and against a lot of teams that are in front of them or right in that mix in the NBA standing. So overall, Laker fans, this was huge. This was so desperately, desperately needed. And how they won the game is interesting, from down 27 to doing what they did. So I'm just, again, excited about how the Lakers won. And I think there's some light at the end of the tunnel, and definitely optimistic about where the Lakers are heading. Colt Real Estate, thank you again for that super chat. That's big time right there. So I just want to point that out. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. And I think the show, I think there was energy definitely off the chains tonight. Okay, let me read a couple more comments here, and then we're going to call it a night. So if you got some comments right now that you want to put in there, any topic that you think is interesting for entire Laker Nation, or just questions that you have for me, throw them in right now. All right. By the way, please give the channel, subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. Good morning from Philippines. Highland Park in the house. Somebody said I missed roll call. Go back. We already did roll call. Let's see what else we got here. We basically need to win 10 home games. Okay, let me tell you. I'm actually counting out how many home games we got left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we got 12 home games left. 12 home games left. And the road games that we have, obviously Memphis, it's going to be a tough one. I don't want to pretend on Memphis. A tough game. That's a tough game. And we beat Memphis last time around, so they got something coming for us. They want to play the Lakers. I don't think Steven Adams in that game. I'm not 100% sure. I know he hasn't played in the last couple of games. At OKC, at New Orleans, at Houston, at Chicago, at Minnesota, at Houston again, at Utah, at the Clippers. A lot of winnable games on the roads. I think the Lakers have the 5th easiest schedule left in the NBA, something along those lines. So that can certainly play to the Lakers' advantage. All right, let me see here. Lathrop, California. Thank you for being a part of the show. Austin Reeves is that guy. That guy's awesome. Lake Arrowhead in the snow. Thank you for being a part of the show. All right, let's see if we got another. What's your thoughts on Vanderbilt? All right, let this one be my final one, and we're going to call it a day. Went longer than we usually go here. So Vanderbilt, that dude does not need the ball, and he could be effective. That guy literally does not need the ball and can be effective at any given time. I just think it's amazing. I think that type of guy, those type of role players, can be the difference of your team. Making a playoff run or not. You got to have players like that. Every team has players like that. So that was big time what he did today. And this is the best part. It was Beasley a couple nights ago. It was Vanderbilt this time. So, it's got to be different guys on a consistent basis. It can't just be the same exact people. So give him his credit tonight, because I thought he did a great job. Carlsbad in the house, thank you for being a part of the show. Santa Fe, New Mexico, thank you for being a part of the show. Santa Clarita, thank you for being a part of the show. Every game is a playoff game. We got momentum going into the playoffs. Anything can happen. We can still win a chip. I'm not going to worry about that part. That part of it, I'm going to leave it alone. All I'll just say is this. They got some time right now to obviously make a run. There's certain teams that look like they're going this way in the West, certain teams that are going this way in the West. Dallas is vulnerable. Dallas might be a team that, who knows, maybe they go in the other direction. So let's see if the Lakers can take advantage of it. Lake Shaw, I appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the show. Awesome show tonight. Fun post-game after the post-game. So I appreciate you all being a part of the show. And I'll get back with you guys. Tomorrow night I got Lakers Talk Live, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Show's done. I'll throw that hour show up here on YouTube. So thank you for being a part of the show. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Get with you guys back again tomorrow. Thanks, Laker fans.